Today on Studio Chat, we're switching it up today, and I'm gonna be the host, and I'm gonna be interviewing this Nikkanen right here, this Studio Chat herself. We wanted to do a little bit of a different segment because you always hear her talking. Oh, first of all, I'm Joseph Royal. If you don't know, I am Joseph Royal on Instagram. Click below. You already know who I am, and you already know who this lady is. But we're switching it up. I'm always behind the camera. I'm the eyes and brains behind this thing you guys watch all the time, and I wanted to have a different view because no one ever asks her questions. So today we're going to be asking Carolyn all the stuff you guys want to know. How are you?
I'm good, Pussy, and it's nice to have you doing this for a change instead of me doing it. Oh my goodness, so I can just relax and sit back.
No, relax. So some of the questions that I know people always ask me and even ask me on social media is, how did you kind of get started in this whole entire thing we call the packaging business?
Well, that's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. So I started when I was 3 years old. My mother was a model, and she took me modeling back to Estelle Weidman back in the day, and then I was a former Judy Welch model, and then I did some film and movies as I progressed along, and then decided to start up the agency, and that's kind of it in a nutshell. So I've done a lot of things along the way, but started at 3, so I've been doing it for over 50 years. Actually, a lot more than 50 years.
Okay, so that's in a nutshell, because I know her longer story, because I know a little bit longer than you guys did. What can an actor do to stand out in the business that we're in right now?
I think what an actor can do to stand out is just to have that great personality, and our philosophy here at the agency is always be humble and grateful and be really nice, because I think people and producers, directors, as you know yourself, a producer, director, singer, you want to work with people that you like.
100%.
And what's going to make you stand out over the other person? My thing, I always like red shoes. Just because every time I see talent walking with red shoes, I think, if I try to remember them, I think, oh, it's the gentleman with the red shoes. There you go. You look at your hair, what makes you different? It could be that great smile, it could just be that energy that you have. And I think that's so important. So never be just the quiet, meek and mild person, but never be too much over the top either. I think there's a nice
balance.
Go with it and just be really nice. People want to hire actors that they like and they want to work with, and that have a great attitude and are humble. I think that's really important.
I can tell you 100% from my point of view. Most people, I cast music videos all the time, and I always have interviews with people via FaceTime or Skype, because it's like, I understand that my time is very precious. So if I'm casting somebody and that person doesn't fit right, we have a problem. We're going to be on set with this person for a long time. So that's 100%. So what makes you stand out?
And always be early and always be on time. I mean, that's the important thing. You don't want to have an audition and then say you have a Skype call and I'm supposed to talk to this person at 1 o'clock. It's 1:15, 1:30. Where are they? Obviously, they're not going to get the job.
No, I hate that. Another question that I always hear is, does modeling in the aspect of runway still exist? Like we used to see it?
That's a good question. I actually, to be honest with you, think it's coming back. Because I know they say a lot of malls today are looking for venues in order to increase traffic in the malls. And I was just watching a documentary the other day, and they were talking about how they want to bring back a lot of fashion shows in the mall, which I found very interesting, because that's just really not done so much anymore. I mean, we have Fashion Week and many events like that, and there's kids fashion week. We don't have men's fashion week anymore. No, not really. A lot of that stuff is kind of changing. I mean, now we have Wow Fashion, which is fashion on the water. So shout out for them, which is amazing. So I think, and there's lots of charity events and charity fashion shows. But I think for models that like to do that, there are events and venues, but more I think on the charity side. Now I think if they go to Europe and that, there still is a lot of the fashion events and Fashion Week and things like that there. But I think here in Toronto, it is changing a little bit. But never give up on your dream. If that's what you want to do, there's always events and things that you can always try out for, as far as a lot of charity events that do have the fashion shows.
Okay, let me think of another great question. What's the difference between US acting career and a Canadian acting career. Because people always talk about, America. Well,
yeah, well, back a while ago, it used to be in Toronto, 20 auditions to get one job. New York, it was like 50 auditions to get one job. And LA, it was 200 auditions to get one job. I think that's changed, and I think we're probably looking at a lot bigger numbers now, and I think a lot of the agents could probably agree with me that it is quite competitive, and I think in the States, people always think in the States are my chances greater. I just think it's a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
And I think depending on Canada, the US, I mean, Toronto is becoming Hollywood North. And I mean, we've got some amazing studios here, and we have been like one of the best years ever as far as busy. So I think you can still do extremely well here. But I know as a musician and singer, I still think maybe south of the border might be a little bit better.
Even Mexico.
Yeah. But I think you just have to have the passion and just follow your dream, whatever it is, and you can be successful in whatever you do as long as you just follow your passion.
You know what? Okay, we'll leave it at this for today. And we're going to bring this segment back. I want you guys to do is to write some questions underneath, comments underneath what you guys want to hear next time. And we'll go through this on IG story as well, some questions you guys have. But thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. So don't forget, put those questions down. Love to answer them. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye.